What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Our Brains Hurt. Thank you so much for hanging out again. December 7th at the Pie Shop in DC will be our next party / show that Our Brains Hurt is doing. It will be the Jasons, Huntingtons, my band, The Blanks, Beatnik Termites, Dead End Lane, and the Stivs. That's the Pie Shop on December 7th. It's a Saturday. Nice little way to bring in the holidays. Watch for tickets. More info to come. And that is that. Now, let's get to the show.
Well, they needed a jingle for their stupid little show, so they called up the Jasons and we said, fuck no. Then they called us again and they gave us $20 and we wrote them a song that said, your podcast sucks. Then they gave us more money and they asked us really nice and we finally gave in and we said, all right, I'll write you a song, but it's gonna be a clone of a Screeching Weasel song that we heard a while ago. So we wrote them a jingle and it sounded really rad. It was the best little jingle that their podcast ever had, but the file got corrupted and the email didn't work. Now they're stuck without a jingle singing Our Brains Hurt. Our brains hurt, our brains hurt, our brains hurt. Our brains hurt, our brains hurt, our brains hurt. Our brains hurt, our brains hurt, our brains hurt. Our brains hurt, our brains hurt, our brains hurt. In a very non-copyright infringing sort of way.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, man. Good to see you.
Yeah, you as well. How you doing?
Not too bad. For 9:30 at night, I'm not too bad at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on nights, so this is like my morning.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Trying to get the
Yeah.
view
Yeah, I'm
where
just
I
making
see
sure you can
it.
hear me well. Like this mic's working and all that crap. And
Yeah,
blah,
it's
blah,
great.
blah.
Sounds great.
Cool. Making sure we're all good.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, you're doing better than I am. 'Cause my computer's down, so I have to use my phone.
Oh, yeah. I'm always
Yeah.
paranoid about Zoom settings, like 'cause for work and stuff and like working from home, like from time to time. It's just like nothing works. And
Yeah.
it's one of those things.
You two guys have never met before, I don't think, yeah?
No, I don't think so. No.
I don't believe so. Where are you from?
Crofton, Maryland.
Okay.
And
Okay.
where are you, Richmond or?
I'm in
Fredericksburg?
Arlington, but I grew up
Oh,
in
okay.
Fredericksburg. So I mean, I was around. That's why I knew Mac. I lived in Fredericksburg a lot growing up,
Gotcha.
but now I live in Arlington because of jobs and
Oh,
marriage.
yeah,
and
yeah.
family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay!
That's funny because I'm from Arlington.
Yeah, I know you said that to me a while back. I remember that now, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
But
cool.
yeah, I don't know if your guys, or at least Ron's old band, if you guys ever played a show together, because Ron was in a band called The Ailments,
Mhm.
and obviously
Yeah.
Chris is in a band called Torino Death Ride. But I don't know if you guys ever crossed paths or not.
I don't know.
I don't
I
think
don't
so.
think so.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think
Yeah.
like your band, I've definitely heard of your band before I knew you were going to be on the podcast, and I was looking at, and I would have remembered because it's definitely like a unique name and it's a unique sound. It's a band that I would not have forgotten if we had.
Okay.
ever played with
Well,
you
thanks for
guys.
saying that, man.
Yeah.
Who came up with that name, anyways?
It was kind of a kind of a thing. It was like a little bit of a mesh of ideas because we had to do something when we were starting, and we were in a band. We kind of like we kind of I'm influenced by a band called Drive Like Jehu. Are you familiar with Drive Like Jehu? And so basically we had to. It's like almost like the name is pretty similar. It was a DeLorean Death Ride for a second. We had to think of something that was like this you could say, and like because we had this band name a long time ago that was like Gangland Bears Its Own, and then like it was just too damn long. We was like we have to have something that's like people can remember, and so it was just people like compromising. So
Cool.
Oh well.
Yeah, well, Torino Death Ride definitely rolls off the tongue, and
I'm glad,
it
'cause
is
before,
unique
yeah.
and memorable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because before, like it was way too long, and it was like there was like that math rock era when everybody had the long names and crap, and yeah, and we had our other band in the past, but whatever. So
Would you guys like officially classify yourself as math rock?
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't say we're math rock. I mean, we're influenced by math rock. I'm personally into math rock, like, in that golden era of math rock, sort of like the late 90s, early 2000s. And the previous bands I've been in were more like into math rock and like really kind of like trying to do math rock, quote unquote. But I mean, now we're trying to be more straight ahead with like, making it more straight ahead. I mean, we're influenced by that stuff, but
Yeah.
it needs a hook after a while, man. So I wouldn't want to say we're math rock. Yeah. That'd
Can
be
you
kind of
talk about what
pretentious.
math rock is? Because
Yeah.
so when I was in the first band the first serious band that I was in that actually like
Yeah.
toured was back in like the late 90s.
Yeah.
And we were just a three-piece pop punk band
Yeah.
called Shorty. But it was during, like you said, it was like math rock was really popular at that time.
Mhm.
And I hated it because my longtime high school girlfriend left me for some dude who played in a math rock band.
Oh no.
And I had no idea what it was, but I was like, fuck math rock. I didn't even know, like, I don't even like, and then I heard it was just called that. I heard it was just called that because it was like, it's like difficult hooks and it's hard to like find the one. And I don't know. I just heard that
Yeah,
it's like a really like,
I mean, I mean, I'm not even sure that name came from, honestly. I mean, like the bands that like were doing that stuff way back in the day, like Don Caballero, Super like Johnny. There's a bunch of bands like that.
yeah,
I mean, I don't even know. I mean, who coined that term? But I mean, weird time signatures, dissonance,
yeah,
angular kind of stops and starts, like weird kind of chords,
right.
jazzy timings. I mean, it's definitely. I mean, the first wave of it was definitely influenced by hardcore and post-hardcore. Those guys, that's where they
Mhm.
that's where they came from, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know. It's just kind of emerged, but I don't know. All those movements kind of coalesce in weird ways. I mean, it's almost after the fact, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Shellac sometimes is called math rock if you're familiar with shellac, but they're kind of more minimal and even like straight ahead rock sort of. Like even that band, like I mean, even Botch. I mean, if you heard of Botch, they consider them like math. I don't know, math
Yeah.
metal or something. I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't know.
Gotcha.
Who knows?
I think you and I have had a conversation once about, because my kind of favorite, I don't know, they're like math rock, I guess, back from like the late 90s, early 2000s, is a band called the Honor System.
I don't think
I've
I'm
heard
familiar
of
with the
them.
honor system.
They're not, I don't know if they would be classified as math rock,
Yeah,
but they're
that's all
definitely
cool.
like, yeah, they definitely have influences of. So I
Yeah.
guess that wasn't you I had that conversation with, but
Let's check
you
out honor
probably would
system.
like that band.
I'll
Yeah.
check it out. I mean, there's so many
Yeah.
bands from so many cities, it's like, so, oh yeah.
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 Have you ever heard the band The Assistant?
No,
Math rock
the,
band out of New Jersey?
the assistants.
The Assistant.
Okay. I've not
Singular.
heard them.
Okay, that was the band that the dude was in that my girlfriend left.
Yeah.
For. I'm glad. Yeah, nobody's ever heard of you.
That's right. Written out of history, man.
No, I'm sure they're awesome.
Yeah.
That's just me being stupid. I was like
Yeah.
fucking 20 at the time, so whatever.
Yeah, of course. And it's all cool.
What's funny because my band went on tour. We toured. We toured Florida with this Florida band. We played like 5 shows in Florida, and we brought them up here and played like DC, Baltimore,
Mhm.
Annapolis. And it was funny because it was right after I really got it's really weird that I'm bringing this up like for the 3rd time already on this podcast, but it's only because of the math rock. I don't think about this all the time, I promise you. But when we were on tour, we were like one night behind that band on, like they were also
Yeah.
on tour. We were like, oh, the assistant played here last night. I was like, fuck that guy. So anyway, that's the last time I'll talk about my ex-girlfriend, my high school ex-girlfriend's definitely now ex-boyfriend, because I know she's married
Yeah.
to somebody else.
Well, math rock could get pretty pretentious. I mean, it became kind of a little pretentious. I mean, everything can become pretentious.
Everything
man,
does
but,
of it, yeah.
I mean, I don't know, but whatever. But
Yeah.
who knows?
When did
Mhm.
so you're from Fredericksburg or originally, correct?
Yeah.
So have
That's
you been
right.
in Virginia your entire life?
Yeah, except for really early on, I was in England a lot.
Oh,
My
cool.
father was in the Air Force. My mother's
Oh,
British,
sweet. Okay.
and so I was in England a lot in my early years. But it's definitely originally from Fredericksburg. So
Right.
it's like the connection going back overseas. Hanging out with my family overseas from time to time. Yeah.
How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, I'm 50.
Are you really?
Oh yeah.
Holy shit, dude, you look great.
Well, thank you.
I honestly, I would have
Yeah.
thought that I was definitely older than you. And
Oh,
I'm
that's
40.
cool.
I'm 46. I would have guessed you in your late 30s to early 40s.
Well, thank you, man.
Yeah, that's good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Healthy living. Maybe I don't know. I have no idea, man.
That's awesome.
Good
Yeah,
gene.
Dan. I had no idea you were 50. I think you probably look younger than me too, and I'm a year younger than Ron. So
Yeah.
Wow.
Cool. That's so.
Yeah.
So, as a 50-year-old growing up
Yeah.
so you did, your formative music listening years are probably like the mid 80s and on, probably.
Yeah, late 80s and on. Yeah,
Yeah.
late 80s and on, pretty much. Yeah.
How did you get into punk rock for the first time? Do you remember how
It's
that
really
happened and
interesting.
what bands kind of brought you into the fold?
I was lucky because my brother was into underground music and hardcore, and like,
Okay.
he just kind of introduced me, and he had this really cool friend, and like they just kind of handed me records. And so I remember it was all at once in a way. It was like some of the like death metal stuff, like, like Celtic Frost. I mean, they're not
Mhm.
really death metal, but and then of course hearing Sonic Youth, like,
Nice.
really
Yeah.
that early period was like kind of blew my mind. And like, of course, Black Flag, Minor Threat,
Yeah.
Youth of the Day. I mean, I remember that kind of that classic period. It was kind of like all at once with, like, that really loud indie rock. I mean,
Yep.
it's Sonic Youth is really called noise rock. I'm not even sure what they use those terms, but even the stuff like, the death metal bands from back in that time period, it was all just like that conglomeration of like that kind of like spirit and like that energy,
Hmm.
man. It kind of like just blew my mind, honestly, because I mean, I was used to like, MTV and like, getting
Yeah.
handed cassettes of stuff when like,
Totally.
hey, listen to like, I don't know, Duran Duran or something, right?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
Motley Crue.
Yeah.
Then like you hear Sonic Youth, and then you're like that just completely like changed my trajectory. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's cool. So Sonic Youth was kind of one of your first
Yeah.
non-mainstream
Yeah, I mean,
loves.
yeah. I mean, and
Okay.
then I would say in that early period, like, Black Flag, Youth of Today. I mean,
Hmm.
that period of time. I mean, I remember being like really into even some industrial music from that period,
Yeah. Yeah.
like Skinny Puppy and stuff like that. I'm not, I mean, that
Hell
doesn't
yeah.
really bear out to this day now, but it was
Yeah.
all just kind of like one cool thing, like underground music and all these like interesting sounds and, abrasive, kind of aggressive stuff that was happening. I was just like really into that kind of stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
I consider myself kind of like a hardcore kid, but then I was just all into that stuff all at once, I guess, in some weird way.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
a lot of the Black Flag stuff was like, especially like the mid era Black Flag was like
Yeah.
really math rocky in itself.
Yeah,
Even though
definitely.
you would call them a hardcore band.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Yeah,
Yeah.
they were definitely an antecedent to all that stuff. I mean, yeah, I really was influenced by that. The Dead
Yeah,
Kennedys, I mean, of course, they're kind of complex. I mean,
yeah,
their musicianship is like really like if you like listen to that stuff, that's really it's pretty impressive. They weren't just very basic like throwing a bunch of bar chords together, which was great. I mean, not to say that's the wrong thing to do.
Yeah.
Huh.
yeah. I always loved like the kind of like also mixing in like the surf rocky kind of stuff that the Dead
Yeah,
Kennedys did
definitely.
too. Like they did kind of take like punk, math, and surf rock and
Hmm.
kind of and
Yeah.
hardcore and kind of mix them all together.
Yeah.
And they were great musicians.
Oh, they were. I mean, you could tell how tight they were. Yeah, that period in like punk or hardcore, like around 1980, 81, 79. I mean, that was even like 1982, whatever. That formative period. I mean, there were just so many like interesting ideas happening. I mean, and it was like all kind of open ended. I mean, there wasn't like something that you could label as like this is hardcore, this is
Yeah.
this or this is that.
Yeah,
Even like Gang of Four. That at that time period, that was super cool. I mean, that was before my time, but I mean, looking back,
Yeah.
retroactively, I guess you call it retrospectively. So,
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned Skinny Puppy. I had when I graduated high school in 95 and I went to this small college up in New York
yeah,
for the first couple years, then I ended up transferring and graduating from University of Maryland, but when I was up there it was a really small school and I remember being in orientation and I was like really into old school ska and reggae. So I used to dress like
yeah,
a rude boy back in the day. I had like the bomber jacket and my
oh
fucking
yeah,
cabbie hat and all of the buttons and patches on my bomber and my fucking braces, and boots. And I remember the only other person that wasn't a square was this industrial kid who had the Skinny
yeah,
Puppy t-shirt. And we looked at each other at the same time and we were like, all right, we're
yeah,
gonna be friends.
oh
And
yeah,
so it was just like this odd couple of this like rude boy and industrial and like goth kid
yeah,
that
yeah.
we had just hung out every day because we were the only two people that weren't like everybody else.
That's high school and college for me,
Yeah,
especially high school.
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah,
all the weird people, kind of like
yeah,
you kind of like, oh yeah, we're gonna like we okay because
yeah,
essentially, honestly, the rednecks won't, we they're not gonna,
totally.
we'll be a little gang here, so we won't
Oh
get
yeah,
like
yeah,
pummeled by rednecks every day. I mean,
yeah.
yeah, not too pejorative, man, but when I
Right.
grew up there, it was kind of like that, man. It
Yeah,
was
that's funny.
one of those things, man. They
yeah,
weren't very tolerant. I mean, it's being real. I mean, not to say rednecks are bad people, because I know a few
Right.
rednecks, and
Yeah.
even this day, but back in the old days, it was like pretty much they kick our asses, every once in a while. Just being real about it.
There was a lot of rednecks in this area back then, like a
Yeah.
lot.
I could imagine
Yeah,
in
there's
Central
not-
Virginia. Yeah.
Different times.
There's not so many now.
Yeah.
There's a far less. I mean, there still are some, but like they
Yeah.
made up like 75% of the population back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now they're like, maybe 10% of the population.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
this-
there's rednecks in Scotland, dude. I mean, I'm saying,
Yeah.
I mean, it's there's rednecks in Canada.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just being real about that, just 'cause
Oh,
I
yeah,
know people in
100%.
Scotland. I mean,
Oh, I mean, Wales is all rednecks. I mean, I've heard
trying to
like,
be like,
I have friends who went to college
people
there,
in
and they
Wales
were
and
like,
Scotland are gonna go like,
yeah, they were like Wales is the Alabama of the UK. that's what I've heard.
And my uncle is actually Scottish. He probably gonna maybe see this one day and be like, oh. Anyway, whatever.
Do you follow Premier League at all? You
I
into
don't.
soccer?
I actually should, but I'm just kind of insane about hockey. So that's just my
Okay,
love is hockey.
gotcha.
And I've got like a dumb Ovi t-shirt on.
Nice.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like when he scored 800 or two. Well, it's like so dumb.
A man after
Yeah.
Matt's heart. There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like a rabid hockey fan. So
Nice.
it's like that. I just really am into hockey, but I watch a little bit of baseball. But
Yeah.
I mean, I could get in. I mean, soccer is cool. And I mean, and there's like, there's a team in Ipswich. That's my mom's hometown. And
Oh, that's it. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So I probably should follow that if I was more, with it, but I don't know.
Are they in the Premier
And then-
League right now, Ipswich? I don't know if they are or not.
They are.
They
Yeah.
are, okay, yeah.
Just, I mean, I should probably fact check that, but I did, so.
I'll check it as we speak. That's the awesomeness of my Google machine.
But
Is
we better do
I
that,
should know
man.
this
So-
too because I follow the Premier League, but I don't.
Well,
know.
I don't. At least I should know that fact. I think they're in the Premier League.
Didn't Ovi put in 860 last night?
I don't think he's at 860. I think he's still in the 850s. I mean, he did
Wow.
score last night, but I didn't keep up with the actual total.
I think it was he put in 860 last
Well, that's
night. I
cool.
believe. It
So
might have been
I was kinda on the road last
859,
night.
but I'm pretty sure it was 860 last night.
Well, that's killer. I mean, he's getting close, man. I mean, hopefully he can do it this season. Right.
He's got he's only 30, I think.
35. I forgot exactly.
Yeah. If he put in 860, then he would need 35 to take it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think it is. So anyway,
Ipswich
crazy.
is in the Premier League this year.
hooray!
They only have 5 points, so they might not be in the Premier League next year, but they are in it right now. So
Well, my guitar player Ben was here. We would know he's more into he actually he's more into soccer, but he actually got the singles vaccine and he felt like hell. He was actually supposed to be here.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
Damn.
so he's supposed to be here actually, but oh well.
I've actually had
vaccine
shingles
will take you
before.
down.
I've had
That
shingles. before.
sucks, man.
Yeah, like a
Yeah.
month before my wedding.
Wow, dude.
Yeah, it was
That's
crazy.
horrible.
I had it on my. It was like I didn't know what the fuck.
Oh my
so
God,
all of a
dude.
sudden, like my hair was like
Wow.
my head started to hurt. I was like, I told my wife, I was like, my hair hurts. She's like, what do you mean your hair
Hmm.
hurts? I was like, I don't know what I mean, but every time I do this, it hurts. And then it started. This rash came over my eye,
Fuck.
and I went to the doctor. Like, yeah, you have shingles. I'm like, shit.
Mm.
I was
Yeah.
only in my late.
Did you ever
30s.
have
chicken pox?
did you ever
yeah.
have chicken pox as a
Yeah,
kid?
yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's in you. I guess
Crazy.
if you have it,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just
So-
lays dormant. That's why,
yeah,
I
it's
got
not
those
fun.
vaccines and,
It
anyway,
yeah.
whatever.
I remember it was like I found out it was like a couple days before my bachelor party, which it wasn't really a bachelor. We just went out to bars and shit. But I was supposed to be on
Yeah.
antibiotics, and
Mm.
I didn't start taking the antibiotics right away because I knew I was going to be drinking a lot on my bachelor party.
There you
And I went back to the doctor, and he's like, "Why haven't you started taking your antibiotics?" I was like, "Well, I knew I was going to be probably vomiting the day after my."
go.
And he was so mad at me. I was like, I'll start now. It
Oh,
was a
shit.
fucking big
That's
deal.
funny, man.
Yeah, what's a big deal?
There you
It's
go.
my body.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey guys, Trev from the Struggling Artist Podcast, and I want to talk to you real quick about Struggling Artist Record Club. The Struggling Artist Record Club is a vinyl record subscription service where I hunt and curate the best punk and punk adjacent music out there and mail their record to your door each and every month. Imagine finding your new favorite band from across the country without ever having to leave the house. It doesn't get much better than that. The excitement of discovering new music just got that much easier. As a member of the Struggling Artist Record Club, you are going to receive some of the best music you've ever heard from bands you may never even heard of. Whether you've been collecting records for years or just starting out, the Struggling Artist Record Club is designed specifically for you. And right now, all new members get a Struggling Artist Record Club exclusive along with the monthly selection. So head to strugglingartistrecordclub.com, pick a membership, and start building that collection today.
Are you the guitar player or the bass player?
I'm a bass player. Yeah.
Okay, bass player. Nice. Fellow bass player. Love it.
Oh yeah, man. I can talk bass all day, but
hell yeah.
Get all nerdy. Get too nerdy and they'd be like, what the fuck is talking about? I played an orange 8200. It's like, who cares? It's like anyway, whatever. You get really nerdy with that shit.
Oh yeah. When did you guys form? Like tell us the history.
Basically, if I have it right, it's 2015, and
Okay.
I'll probably get my butt kicked for that because I'm not that good with the dates. So basically, there was a band that was everybody in the band now, minus our singer Richard, and it was actually my guitar player's wife. His name is Zoe, and we basically were playing more mathy, kind of like almost shoegaze or mathy stuff.
Gotcha.
Then she stepped away amicably,
Yeah.
and then we kind of wanted to be a little bit more heavier or abrasive. We were listening to a band called Helms Ali a lot at that time period. And they're if you're not sure if those guys or not. But
what are they called again?
Helms Ali.
Okay.
And I'm really into bands like Converge. I mean, more than like I'm probably that person that listens to the heaviest stuff. That's a little bit tangent, but and so we wanted to play a little bit more abrasively. And so we wanted there was somebody that could kind of scream and yell. And so we found our good friend Richard, and he fit the bill perfectly. And it just became a little bit more in that kind of like a little bit more heavier. But the band beforehand called Gangland Bears Its Own was pretty loud. That's kind of how it came to be. And I don't know, just playing some local shows, writing a bunch of songs. Just kind of coalesced. with our, busy adulting lives, of course.
Oh yeah, yeah.
'Cause,
Gets
I mean,
harder
when
and
I,
harder.
when
Yeah,
even before, I used to play a lot more shows, get in the van, go do stuff like that. And, with adulting and careers, now
Yep.
it's somewhat more part-time,
Right.
this band has been that way. So
Totally.
going
Yeah.
strong ever since. Again, I hope 2015 is the right date.
Nice.
So
I,
I'll probably be fact checked on that at some point.
it might be 2014 actually.
I think you're right. I think you may be right. Yeah.
Because I believe that you guys, I believe I had seen you guys play a very early show
Okay.
before I had gotten invited to be in Savage Remains. And I got invited to be in Savage Remains like right in early 20 or sorry, very late 2014.
Then it definitely predates. It has to be 2014 or maybe
Yeah.
earlier. I'm screwed with dates, dude.
No, we have so Matt Alive, aka the Rain Man of punk rock, will find facts even of your own
Well,
band.
actually,
He will-
I get fact checks this after, and you can just probably fix it or something. I don't know, but I mean,
Yeah.
our singer Richard's actually a little bit better with all that stuff, and
Yeah.
Awesome. He's actually studying right now. He's in the midst, he's in midst of doing a lot of stuff in college.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah.
He actually lives right around the corner from me now.
yeah, it would have been cool if he could have come over, but he's just slammed. Like he's just
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
He's
sure.
like,
I mean,
he's
literally, he
studying.
lives like
Yeah,
a freaking block and a half from me.
Nice.
yeah, that's cool. So yeah, again, I mean, my band, man, I don't know. I mean, it's been kind of we recorded one full length.
Hmm.
And then like beyond that, it's like, we're now recording again finally.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's been kind of slow going, but we've been playing shows pretty regularly. I mean, we play at least on average like probably like once a month, twice a
Nice.
month,
That's a good
give or
amount of
take.
time,
And
yeah.
then there's like little ebbs and flows with the holidays, and then people get
Right.
busy and
Yeah.
adulting.
Hell yeah. That's a good
Yeah.
for us it's like practice once a week, play a show once a month. That's kind of like
Yeah.
we try to do at least that. So
Yeah, we have like
I
little
do.
weekend jaunts from time to time. I mean, go ahead, man.
yeah.
Oh, I was just gonna say I do have your vinyl, by the way.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
That's cool. Now there'll be more to come. I mean, we're recording now, and hopefully, I imagine spring of 2025 is. I'm just kind of
Nice.
spitballing that for like.
Where are you guys recording?
There's a good friend of ours. His name is Joe Corzin.
Okay.
Plug that a little bit.
Yeah.
Now he has like a little thing he calls it Bum Leg Records. It's basically like he has a really nice studio in
Oh, nice.
Stafford, and it's really of course local to you guys, and he has his whole basement just like decked out like a really nice studio.
Oh hell yeah.
He has really, I mean, it's really professional stuff, but I mean, he's been having a few health issues, sadly,
Yeah.
unfortunately, not to broadcast that too much. So he's kind of slowed down that a little bit, but I mean, he's still
Gotcha.
doing stuff. But yeah,
Cool.
so it's really cool to have like a recording engineer as a good friend, and so
Oh hell yeah.
it's really a cool thing, and I sit up there so we could just go over there, and he doesn't, the whole buddy system, doesn't. We have essentially the friend rate in so many words.
Yeah. Yeah.
He gets to try out new gear on us and stuff like that, and so it works out pretty well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Invaluable connection when you have
Yeah.
somebody like that. So good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, previous band we recorded with that guy, Jay Robbins from Jawbox.
Yeah, I've heard that name before.
He has a recording
Yeah,
studio in
okay.
Baltimore, and in my previous band we recorded with him. That's probably the most biggest recording thing we've ever done.
Yeah.
Per se, but not this band, but
Right.
we're considering going back to him. But that's long.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any like shows coming up? At
Well,
all?
this may be like out, I mean, like later than that, but we're playing literally this Thursday at the Camel in Richmond.
Well, cool.
Yep.
The Camel rules. I love that place.
Yeah, it's that's a good room. That's a very cool room. I love that room.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're our good friends Vulcanite. They're good friends of ours from Richmond, and then even Blazner, they're from Fredericksburg, and then after that, a Reclaim Arcade, which is a nice,
Oh,
a cooler
nice.
new venue in Fredericksburg, actually local to you guys, with Supreme
Well-
Commander and Walk the Plank both from DC. So
Yeah.
lucky.
Yeah, I saw flyers for that one.
Local
actually.
to
Yeah,
Matt.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, local to me. Ron's in Maryland.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So
Walk
Yeah,
the
I-
Plank actually are so the biggest, like we were talking about my old band, the Ailments,
yeah.
previously. The biggest show we ever played was at the Rock and Roll Hotel with Agent Orange, and we played with Walk the Plank that show.
That's
too.
cool.
Yeah, it was
They're
awesome.
good guys,
They're
man.
so good. Yeah, they're really
They're
cool
cool
people
people.
too. Yeah,
Very cool people.
Yep.
I love, yeah.
Great band.
Super cool
Yeah.
people.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
my buddy that lives around here, Luke, used to be in Walk the Plank. He also used to be in Cop Stabber.
Wow.
Oh, Cop Stabber. I
All
just
these
saw.
connections.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we played with Luxury Teeth a couple weeks
Yeah.
ago. Who's the singer for Cop Stabber?
Yeah.
Sings for them. Yeah.
yeah.
That's
My
awesome.
buddy Luke used to play in both those bands.
Oh, that's cool.
Wow.
Cop Stabber was wild as fuck on stage.
Yeah.
What's your most memorable show that you've played and one that you've been
Wow.
to?
Gee whiz, man. Remember when I played? That's really tough.
Yeah,
Yeah, trick
most
questions.
memorable show on stage and most memorable show as a spectator.
Wow.
And we edit, so you could take your time and think.
Yeah,
about
yeah.
it.
I mean, damn, memorable show. I probably have to say like maybe our first show
Okay.
was very memorable because it was just like really fresh and exciting,
Right.
playing the songs for people and people kind of getting into it early on.
Mhm.
And we also had a show at a place called Skid Row Garage
Oh,
just
in
recently,
York,
only like
Pennsylvania.
Yeah, York.
North Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
that was a very cool show.
Cool.
We that's one of the most memorable shows. I mean, it's kind of recent, but this is like a nice packed room. It was a really good vibe. I mean,
I've heard good things about that place. Yeah.
there's a really good vibe there, man. Like the
Cool.
people there, the crowd there, like the people like up in PA, there was a really cool attitude. They're really into it.
Yeah.
So that was one really memorable show.
Cool.
Yeah. Like again, the first one. But I mean, I think attending a show, I hope I have this right because it's like ancient history, but I may be like putting two shows together, but I remember going at the Auto Bar and seeing Converge and the Locust together. I think that was that one
Okay.
show. And that's the early 2000s. And that was totally off the hook, man. I mean, because
So is that
Converge
the
and
old Auto
Locust-
Bar?
Yeah.
The small, tiny Auto Bar.
Yeah, I mean, I hope I have that right because
Yeah.
I mean, like because I saw Converge and Locust together, and I think it was at the
Nice.
Auto Bar at that period, and I mean, it was totally like off the hook, man. I had to just step back. I mean, even I was all
That was
even
probably
at that
wild
young
as fuck
age.
at that shit at that venue with the smaller fucking.
Yeah, because I mean,
That
when the
place was
Locusts were
tiny.
playing, people, I mean,
Yeah.
those kids were going absolutely like they
Yeah.
were just like it's just like the walls were crawling. I mean, they're just going insane or
Yeah.
losing their fucking mind. I mean, Converge was brutal as shit back then. I mean, there still are.
Yeah.
That Jane Doe
Yeah.
period, that was just like insane. Plague Landscape. I mean, I think it was like Plague Landscapes or whatever it was called, that Locust album at that point. I was really into that kind of crazy or like just mathy grindcore, just like
Yeah.
go insane stuff back in the day. I mean, I still like that kind of stuff, like the Locust, but
Yeah.
I was really into that for a while. And my bandmates were like, "What the fuck is this shit?"
Yeah.
It was like this is fucking unlistenable, man. What is? I mean, it's
That's
whatever.
yeah.
Have you ever heard the Locust before? It's pretty
I have.
extreme. Yeah, it's pretty extreme.
I've never heard them before. It's called the Locust. Plural?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
their classic album is called Plague Soundscapes. I actually had that
Okay.
right. Plague Soundscapes, if I remember
Okay,
correctly.
cool. I'll
It's like their
definitely look
classic
them up.
album.
Cool.
They're pretty. It's like grindcore,
Yeah.
but like it's very like precise, and they throw in some like organ sounds, and it's really just kind of
Okay.
like it's pretty furious.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I got into hardcore, like the first punk band that I always said that the Dead Milkmen were my kind of gateway drug to punk
Yeah,
rock.
yeah.
Because somebody gave me
course.
Big Lizard in my backyard
Yeah.
back when I was like a sophomore in high school,
Yeah,
maybe. But then I fell in love with Gorilla Biscuits. I heard
Yeah.
them and I was like, oh, this is the greatest band ever. And I still love
Oh,
them. And I
Yeah.
just recently went to the Auto Bar. This was probably like a month ago. And I saw the Cro-Mags, well, kind of the Cro-Mags. Because they're two different bands now. The Cro-Mag, I don't know if you know but and then Terror, the hardcore band from LA, headlined, and they were
Yeah.
fucking phenomenal. And it was funny because they don't let you stage dive at the Auto Bar. There's all
Oh,
these
yeah.
signs like no stage diving, but they might have worked out. Everybody was stage diving that night, and it was funny. I took a picture of there's this like little kind of balcony section, and there's a sign on the balcony section under the stage that says no stage diving. And I took a picture. This dude was running off. He ran off the stage dove onto the balcony, that grabbed it and was like crawling across on his arms, like right next to the no stage diving sign. And I got a picture of him like right when he was next to it. But yeah, so hardcore, I definitely have a special place in my heart for hardcore. Gorilla Biscuits
yeah.
were like, and I saw them for the first time like 2 years ago in Baltimore. And it was so wild.
Oh yeah.
I was right against the stage. My friend was like, we're going against the stage. I'm like, I'm not going against the stage. I'm fucking 46. I'm not going against the fucking stage. Well, I was 45 at the time. He's like, we're doing
Yeah,
it. I was
that-
like, fuck it, we're doing it. So I'm against the stage, and they just do like they have the trumpets for the first song. And it was just people. I'm surprised our necks weren't broken, but it was fucking
yeah.
fantastic. It was
I've
great.
been there before. Trust
Yeah,
me.
yeah. It's
It's
so
like boots, elbows,
yeah, everything.
everything's flying around.
And
You're just like,
people are crowd surfing
yeah,
to
it's just,
you and stage
yeah.
diving
Oh,
on
I
you.
know.
It's like it's fucking nonstop
Yeah,
chaos, but it's awesome.
yeah. I've kind of chilled out from that, like in my, my sort of my golden years. I mean, per se, because
Yeah, dude.
I'll just kind of step back, like even when we play
Yeah.
we played a show in Jesus Christ, JB Love Drafts.
Oh,
Also
that's up
in
in
Harrisburg.
Pennsylvania too, right? Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
another really cool venue.
yeah.
There's this friends of ours called Orphan. They're like really heavy mathy stuff, and like these kids were just
Okay.
going crazy. I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna chill out from this. Yeah, I like
Yeah,
it, but
yeah.
I got like an elbow to the head, and I was like,
That's a young man's
I
game.
gotta be able to drive home tonight,
Yeah.
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 Young man's game. You got to be in your 20s to do that. I mean, you don't
Yeah,
have
it's
to be,
just,
but, like,
I still enjoy the aggression, but it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's take a step back on this one. You guys can drive.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
What are you spinning these days? So if you get in your car and you drive somewhere, like
Wow.
say you got an hour drive ahead of you, what you putting on?
That's tough, man. I mean, because Spotify makes that such a weird thing now. But I
It
mean,
does, yeah.
yeah, I mean, there's a band from England called Spectres that I've been liking a lot.
Spectres? Okay.
Yeah, they're kind of like this kind of noise rocky, shoegazy kind of thing. I'm
Mhm.
really kind of impressed with them. I've been going back to this kind of shoegazy, kind of noisy band called Vivian Girls from New York. I've been listening to them a little bit because I'm really, it's kind of weird because I'm really into the kind of like indie rock and like shoegaze stuff otherwise, and so I just kind of I'll just like go through periods of like digging that stuff.
Yeah.
Like there's this math rock band called Sweet Delay Johnny. I've been kind of throwing them on a little bit more
nice.
just because I
That's a
it's
rad
like,
name.
yeah, they were like
Sweep the leg.
Sweet Delay Johnny. Yeah, they're really pretty good math rock band from the early 2000s. Like we
Nice.
actually played a few shows with them. Like I mean the previous band a long time ago, and they're
Yeah.
just like they're so technically good. It's just kind of like looking back at that stuff. I mean, yeah, I mean I think that's pretty. And like Young Widows is another band I've been listening to a lot lately. I mean, of course, they're a classic band. They're not too classic, but like early 2000s, mid 2000s. I guess that's
Yeah.
pretty comprehensive.
Cool. Have you been to any like shows recently? What was your most recent couple shows you've been to?
Wow.
Not including ones you've played.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to remember, man. I saw. I went to the Black Cat, and I saw. Who did I see? Who did I see, man? This is like a Supreme Commander, of course. We're playing with.
Oh,
some-
nice. We played with them.
idiot-
The
yeah.
Elements played with them once. And,
Yeah, I saw them play recently.
we played with them at
that,
Slash Run years ago.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of the
Yeah.
last things I've seen. I mean,
They're cool.
I saw the Desdemonas play somewhat recently. They're a band out of DC. They're kind of like soul, kind of punk. I don't know. It's like
Yeah.
there's kind of a thing going on with that. I've seen Stereo Lab play when they came. That's like totally not punk rock, but I
Yeah.
saw Stereo Lab play when they came in their reunion tour a little while back.
Cool.
That's definitely like way out of the punk rock kind of
Yeah,
world, kind of like psychedelic kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
I'm in all kinds of crazy stuff, man. I listen to jazz, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just trying to think of stuff I've seen.
Everybody should listen to different styles
Oh,
of
hell
music.
yeah.
Like,
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah,
Like-
of course.
pigeonholing yourself into like one style of music. I find it weird when people
Yeah.
do that. Like, I only listen to this, and I'm like, okay, well, like the only person that's losing out is you, man. Like,
Oh yeah, I mean,
Totally.
I'm getting influenced by all kinds of things.
yeah,
I mean, all kinds of things. I'm listening to jazz my entire life because my dad's a big jazz guy, and I listen to classical music, and I listen to Bach, and
Same.
I really like losing punk points now. I mean, there are punk points, whatever. I mean, I listen to that kind of
Yeah.
stuff too, man. I mean, it's just it all influences me. I mean, even when I'm working, it's a different kind of mode. I'm like chilling out and kind of concentrating.
It's funny
Yeah.
when we had Ben Weasel on the show a couple years
Yeah.
ago, and Ben and Matt went into this nerd out of classical music,
Yeah,
which I love
Yeah,
classical music
classical
too. It's great.
I'm into it. I mean, that's what my
Yeah.
that's another thing my dad influenced me with, like that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
I listen to like classical music every day pretty much. I listen to like Beethoven's string quartets and stuff, man.
Nice. Yeah.
It's something else. It's something that art taking me to a different place.
Yeah, the violin's my favorite instrument. I can't play it, but
Yeah.
as far as an instrument to listen to, the violin is the most. I think it's the most beautiful sounding instrument. I could listen to somebody who's good at it all day
Mhm.
long. It's just an amazing. I
Oh
wish I could
yeah,
play it. Yeah.
absolutely. No doubt.
Actually, yeah, we just had a punk rock fiddleist, if you will,
That's
on
Oh
right.
yeah.
We
on the
did.
last
Yeah.
week on our episode. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He's been all over the place and played music with
Wow.
all sorts of crazy people,
That's
man.
Yeah.
cool.
Like from all, like all genres and walks of life too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah. It's
Oh yeah.
awesome.
There's a band called King Cackle from Charlotte, North Carolina. They're like kind of like doom like metal, but then they have a fiddle player and it kind of works
Oh,
out pretty
cool.
well. They're
King
friends of ours.
Cackle. That's awesome.
We go to North Carolina and play with them every once in a while. And they're like
Cool.
again doomy kind of like tuned down to C stuff, but then there's a fiddle player and
Oh, hell yeah. That's
like
awesome.
kind of doomy, kind of like it works out,
That's awesome.
So
Yeah.
it is what it is. Sorry.
Do you go to Capitals games?
Oh yeah, I mean I try to go at least 2 or 3 a year. I mean I used to go a lot more, but it's just like the thing of like adulting it again. Trying to
Yeah,
find the
totally.
time.
Yeah.
I mean, I live up
And
here, and I shouldn't have a big excuse. I mean, I should try to go see more this year. But
Yeah.
yeah, usually 2 to 3.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's also like massively expensive nowadays.
it's
to
I
go.
mean, even nosebleeds. I mean, it's like about maybe like $90 a ticket or something. I mean, when it's
Really?
all
Even
said
for
and
like the
done with
cheap
all.
seats.
Yeah,
Damn.
Yeah.
even the nosebleeds are like, yeah, it's pretty, it's pricey.
And
Yeah,
especially this year,
Yeah.
if they keep playing well, it's not going to make the prices go down
Right.
any.
Yeah.
you got that right. Well, hey,
Yeah.
that's a good problem to have, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
had season tickets for 5 years actually,
Wow.
back from 09 to 14. So I got to
Wow.
see like all the Bruce Boudreau years.
Wow.
So a lot of like Ovi's like classic highlights, like
Mhm.
playoffs, everything. I
Oh
was
yeah,
at all those
Nice.
games.
that's
Yeah,
cool, man.
it was great great time in life. Great time in
Yeah,
life.
definitely.
I think I only
Definitely.
missed two. Like I was talking to somebody about this the other day. Actually, I'm pretty sure the most games I missed in one season was 4.
Wow.
So
That's
I would
dedication,
go
dude.
a lot. Oh yeah,
You live in
Wow.
Arlington?
no, I lived in Stafford at the time.
Wow, man. That's
That is
dedication,
that's
dude.
dedicated. That is
I mean, you're like
dedication.
Oh
up and
yeah,
down the
dude.
fucking road, man. You're like,
I
like 3 days, you're like 3 days a week, you're like well, I mean, they don't of course they don't play that much at home, but yeah.
yeah, I lived. Well, I mean, I lived like right next to 95,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
right off of like the Garrisonville exit in Stafford. So
Yeah.
heading up there, I'd get off at work and get 4 o'clock or something like that,
Yeah.
and then it was just always like the perfect time to get
Mhm.
into DC on weekdays.
Yeah.
Like I would miss all the traffic. And
Yeah.
this is in like, like I said, back in the era of like 2009 to 2014, like there wasn't as much traffic back then. And so it was always just perfect to get into the city. Like I would hardly ever hit traffic, and
That's cool.
I could hit DC in like 40 minutes.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah,
That works out.
it did. It actually worked out
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Like I said, fun times in life.
Mhm.
I need to try to get back into hockey. I was really, really into hockey in high school and
Yeah.
college. I was a huge Rangers fan, and I had a Rangers. I'm in New York. My family's from New York, so I'm a
Yeah, that makes
Mets,
sense.
Jets, and
Yeah.
Knicks
Yeah.
fanatic. And I was a huge Rangers fan. I would go to like when the Rangers would come down and play the Caps. I would go like at least once a year to check them out.
Yeah.
And like I was a huge Rangers fan when Messier we won the cup with Messier, and
Wow.
then I
That's a
just
cool
fell
name.
into love with basketball after that, and I just
Yeah,
started.
okay.
I just put all my winter attention to the NBA and mostly college basketball too. I went to the
Mhm.
University of Maryland, so I was like a huge Maryland Terrapins fan, and my daughter goes to Kentucky now, so now I'm a big Kentucky
Cool.
fan. Who just started their season today and won big with their new coach Mark Pope. Shout out Mark Pope. But yeah, hockey's a great sport too, though, because
Oh, yeah.
it's like soccer. It's people knock soccer all the time, but it's nonstop action.
Absolutely.
And the thing that
Yep.
drives me crazy about football, it's like
Mhm.
3 to 7 seconds of action and then like
Yep.
30 seconds of nothing. And people knock
Mhm.
soccer. It's like there's no commercials. It's 45 minutes of nonstop action.
Yep.
And then there's
Yeah, football-
commercials, and then there's 45 more minutes of nonstop action. Like it's like
Yeah.
The
and hockey's the
average
closest thing to that, I think, to soccer, maybe, and basketball too.
That,
Hockey, I
you
mean,
know,
is
the
just like
average
so
time,
kinetic, yeah. Good.
the average time for an NFL game, you know, is like about 3 hours or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
But the average time that there's actually playing going on the field is like 11 minutes.
That's insane, man.
Yeah.
I've heard
I
that
thought you would
statistic
say
before.
20 to 30, but 11 makes me laugh.
No,
for
I've
it's
some
like
heard
11
statistics like
minutes.
that before, man. That
There's
that is crazy.
there's actually like way
Yeah.
more
Wow.
ad time during football games than
Yeah.
there is
Yeah.
the actual playing
No.
of football. Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like
Mm.
hockey, basketball, and soccer are
Yeah.
definitely the most nonstop action. It's the most fun sports to watch.
Absolutely.
I love baseball, but come on, it's hard. It's if you're not a baseball fan, it's hard to get into. But
I think baseball live is a lot of fun. I can
Yeah,
watch I can
totally.
watch it on TV
yeah,
for a bit. It's
Yeah.
all cool.
unfortunately, I'm a Met fan, so this year was great.
Right
I'm
up
not-
until it wasn't.
Well, but I'm not going to be one of those Met fans. So many Met fans
Yeah.
are like fuck the Mets. It's like, dude, we barely got into the playoffs and then got to the NLCS. Like, fuck you, that was awesome.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
the Mets gave me 2 extra weeks of baseball, which
There you
never
go.
happens ever. So I love the Mets. Thank you, Mets, for this season. That was great. I'm not going to be one of those other asshole fucking Met fans, but yeah,
Oh,
whatever.
yeah.
Chris, are you if you follow baseball, are you a Nats fan or
I'm an O's fan just because, like, I mean,
No,
I
okay.
grew up with the O's.
Yeah.
And I mean, again, I respect the Nats, and I mean, I was excited when they won the World Series, and
Yeah,
I watched it.
not me.
I'll go to the Nats games, but I'm actually in my heart an O's fan just because that's where I grew up.
Nice.
I'm not like a rabid O's fan, but you know, it's just, you know,
Yeah.
Yeah, same. I mean I
Yeah.
am a Nats fan. I moved over
Yeah.
to them, but
that's
but
cool.
like
Yeah.
I still love the O's too. Because, you know, I grew up with Cal Ripken. Like you know,
They're
as
easy
you
team
did
to
too,
like.
I'm sure.
They're a really
Yeah.
easy team to like. Yeah,
It's
those.
become like sports talk.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
you know, we always
we do
get
that
into
every
it a
now
little
and then,
bit. Yeah.
That's all cool, man. I don't give a damn. Yeah,
Especially
I love-
the O's being in like the Red Sox and Yankees division, who are like
Mhm.
the evil empire, both of those
Yeah,
teams. So it's
yeah.
that makes it even easier to like the O's. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
You want to get into the other the questions, Rob?
Yes, I was just about to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Questions.
Okay,
man.
sweet. Yeah.
I'm
Oh
gonna
yeah.
ask you these
The
questions.
question.
Questions.
The questions. Dun, dun, dun. Okay.
There's a couple fun ones and a couple tough ones.
Yeah.
Oh no.
It's four questions total. So the first one, if you were on death row, what would your
Okay.
final meal be?
Wow.
You could have anything you want. Even if it
Wow.
was like a grandmother who passed away and you loved her sauce, which is what I
Wow.
would pick. Anything you want, your final meal, you're on death row, you're dying tomorrow. Here's your dinner. What is it? And you can
Probably
think about it
chicken-
because, like I said, we edit. So
Probably chicken curry. I mean, like a perfect
Okay.
chicken curry. My the English upbringing, you know,
Yeah,
that could be really
okay,
done really
gotcha.
well. I remember those when I was a kid.
What? Well, you know specifically what kind of curry?
I'm not educated enough. I just know that I just know that it was really good.
Yeah.
When I had it in England.
It was probably it was probably vindaloo,
mm.
butter chicken, or tiki masala. One of those. Does any of that ring a bell?
Tiki masala is great.
I mean, all three are amazing.
I know it's really
Yeah.
really hot. I know. Yeah. I love the hot.
Mm.
So yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, that would probably just like it's just so gratifying, you know. every
Hell
single-
yeah.
It's probably vindaloo then, if it was hot, because I think vindaloo is one that's like supposed to be hot, and like tiki masala and butter chicken can be hot, but mostly they're made like not hot.
Yeah.
I don't know, at least in America.
Well, I remember
Yeah.
like when I was in England, like there would like be these manly competitions, like literally like who can stand the most curry.
Nice.
Like these guys would be like sweating and stuff.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It was actually like a thing, you know. It's just an odd thing, man.
That's awesome.
You know.
All right. Second question, which is kind of
Oh
similar to the first. What is your favorite cereal?
wow. I guess just like shredded wheat. I mean, it's just like this.
Jesus Christ, that's the worst answer I've. I'm just kidding.
Sorry, dude. Hey, it's just because it's super practical. I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but it's like fuck. I mean, if I'm at work and I'm like, I mean, I gotta eat lunch and I have nothing.
Yeah.
I can just throw shredded wheat into something, and
Yeah.
and plus, I mean, like my British upbringing. I mean, you know, I guess
Yeah.
it doesn't
Yeah.
matter what it tastes like. I mean, that's just that's the bullshit.
Not even like frosted mini wheats, like just shredded wheat.
Yeah, shredded wheat, man. It's like you
Alright.
can just put that on anything, like you know, and like make a lunch out of it because like I'm always busy at work running around and
Yeah.
I just kind of a weird, like, I mean, Verdak staple. I mean, because I'm kind of my own character for a lot of people, like, because I'm kind of a little bit eccentric. And so people just call me, it's like a Verdakism as my
Yeah,
last
yeah.
name.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Like, you know, it's like, yeah, he'll have a shredded wheat and like, yeah, some boiled chicken.
All right, that's cool. That's cool.
It's a little weird, but it's all good.
Yeah.
I think that's why we asked that question, because like,
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck?
well,
Yeah.
no, it always ends up making for
Yeah.
good conversation. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
like people get crazy about cereal.
I took a picture. I bought here, let me show you guys this picture because
wow.
I forgot to post it online, but Matt will appreciate this. I'm a huge Fruity Pebbles fan.
Okay.
As a real American should be.
There you go.
It's the worst and most unhealthy thing of all time, but
Yeah, it's
check
probably
out,
like I always
you
fuck
see
the
this
weird
one?
dyes and shit. There you
The
go.
winter
Winterfest Fruity
Fest.
Pebbles with marshmallows.
Is that for real?
Oh,
It is for real. I ate it
That
last
sounds
night
like
and
a
it made
beer.
me vomit right away.
Yeah,
Mostly
that's
because
like
I overate.
wow.
I ate a
Yeah.
giant bowl of it and then went and puked. But it was delicious, and I'm gonna have another bowl tonight after this, probably.
There
So,
you go.
yeah.
Binge and purge.
Fruity Pebbles with marshmallows is a bit much. I will say
Yeah.
that. I'll probably
That's-
avoid the marshmallows in it tonight, but
There you
sugar with
maybe
sugar.
maybe
Be
you'll
like-
vomit
yeah.
again.
Different forms of sugar. Two types of
go.
sugar.
That'd be too much for me, dude. I'd be like,
It is a
yeah.
lot. It's
Yeah.
a bit
Same.
much. Yeah.
Same.
That's when I took a picture of it in the store, and then I snuck it into I was with my wife when we were grocery shopping, and I kind of snuck it into the cart, and we were in line paying for stuff. And she's like, "How did this get in here?" I was like, "Just swipe the fucking box. Yeah, we're getting that." All right, third question.
Oh.
This
These
is where
are
it
the
gets
tough
tough.
ones now.
Yeah. Okay,
Uh-oh.
so science is wonderful, and science actually does this now. So if you decide if you pass away and you decide to be cremated, one of the things you can do with your ashes is you could actually form it into a vinyl record of your choice.
Wow.
And they do this now. So
No
if
shit.
you were to have your ashes eternalized in a vinyl
Wow.
record of your choice, which album would you pick? And it has to be an album that exists. You can't just
Wow.
make up some weird comp. But so which album would Chris's ashes
That's incredible, man.
end up in?
Wow. Damn.
Yeah, this is a thinker.
And again, we edit, so think as long as you need to. So
Yeah.
yeah. No rush. No pressure.
It's an imperfect kind of like record. It's not, you know, whatever, but the album Sonic Youth Sister,
Okay.
from
Mhm.
1987, that album like just kind of like impressed me, like what could like music do?
Yeah.
Like what could avant-garde music do? What how weird could you get with noises and stuff? I mean, of course, it's not the most craziest record that ever was made. Sonic Youth has probably done better records, but that's that golden period of my life where I was like, holy
Mhm.
shit. You know, you can make a guitar sound like that. You can write a weird song like that.
Yeah.
So it'd probably be that album, Sonic Youth Sister. And you know, because I remember even having that vinyl and the
Cool.
like the crazy cover and shit. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just, it's kind of a landmark for me. So I'll go with that.
All right, cool. It's funny because like Sonic Youth was such a like I wasn't really I never really got into Sonic Youth, but my girlfriend at the time
Yeah.
when I was in high school was a huge Sonic Youth fan, and I had a lot of friends who were. And
Yeah.
I don't think that we've ever even talked about Sonic Youth on this podcast ever
Wow.
until tonight with you on the podcast.
Well, let's
I
change that.
think
I don't
you
even know
might
if
be
that
correct.
band has ever been in the 220 episodes we've done.
Wow.
This might be the first time that Sonic Youth has been mentioned on this podcast.
I think you're right, actually.
Yeah. So
I mean,
And that
congrats.
is a good album, though, Chris. Sister's a great album.
Yes, I
Yeah.
mean Sonic Youth to me is I mean in that golden period of time. I mean, you know,
For
they,
sure.
you know, they really were just like an incredible like inspiration in terms. I mean, they're I mean that golden period they were extremely aggressive live. They're a live band. They were really like
Yeah.
just like fucking like just you know knock
Yep.
you over like with feedback and just like mayhem and like they were just pretty much like they were just kind of crazy at that period. It's
Yeah.
like I mean it was like almost like I mean they came from hardcore. They the aggression of hardcore. They just wanted like you
Yeah.
know how can you make this even more noisy and more like dissonant and like
Yeah.
and more just like you know kind of like losing their shit you know per se. But then of course they got more mellow as time went on. Of course that
Right.
you know whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, most bands do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean you can't just be like that. You know, we're gonna blow your head off like band. I mean, of course, even like that album, the album Sister, it has some calmer moments. You know, of course.
Yeah.
They kind of like gentle, almost beautiful, haunting shit, and it's all over the place.
When did that come out? I'm looking it up right now.
1987.
87. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. SST Records. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually haven't listened to Sonic Youth in quite a long time. I think that might happen again tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think I may
Yeah, I
be
mean, there's that
jamming some
golden
Sonic
period,
Youth.
man.
Yeah.
From Evil to probably about the album Dirty. I mean, that's that golden period with all those classic albums in a row. I mean, they were really
Yeah.
just groundbreaking stuff. I mean, in my esteemed opinion. So,
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Well, no, I mean, you're not wrong. You're not
Yeah.
wrong at
well, I
all.
don't know.
Yep.
Per se.
All right. Last question is
Mm.
who is on your Mount Rushmore of punk rock? You get 5 people. You get the Mount
Wow.
Rushmore and the Crazy Horse. So you get 5 people total.
Wow.
And it doesn't have to
Mount
be,
Rushmore punk rock.
we've had so many crazy, we've had Little Richard, we've had all sorts of crazy people as answers. So I say we say Mount Rushmore of punk rock, but
Do you mean like literal, like one person, like it has to be a person,
people,
not like
yeah.
a band,
Right?
a person?
People. Yep. Yeah.
I guess I'll start with like, wow, that's tough, man. I guess I'll start with like maybe Peter Hook. He's going to be up there. That's kind of maybe a weird choice. I mean, of course, New Order is not punk rock. I mean, we know that, but
Yeah.
Joy Division to me, like, and I was, when I was really young, was like really influential.
Mhm.
Like, and just like, just like when I was certainly learning to play music, like, how to play bass, and it's like the idea of like bass, like being almost like the central instrument, and how he approached the bass is definitely with Joy Division, because New Order became like really dance pop, and
right.
I mean, there's some great New Order songs, but definitely Peter Hook with when he was playing with Joy Division is on Mount Rushmore for me.
Cool.
Because that's number one.
All right.
Not maybe in order, but he comes to mind.
He's on there. Yeah.
Yeah. This is tough. This is very tough, dude.
This is tough.
Yeah.
It's like this question and the one before this are we always get a lot of times Matt or I will get like an email or a text from somebody be like, I misspoke. I should have said this person, or like they sleep on it and they're like, I can't believe I forgot to say this. Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
wow, this is really tough, dude. So basically this guy named Justin Trosper, he's a guitar player from Unwound. You ever heard of Unwound before? They're out of Washington State. They're a big, like, kind of like I guess I mean, now they call it noise rock, but Unwound is probably one of the most interesting 3-piece, like, kind of noise rock push hardcore bands I'm really familiar with. I mean, the way he approached guitar is just like, it's really, really, really cool. Like taking the kind of like the Sonic Youth Fugazi thing, but like throwing it in a kind of a more interesting kind of, well, not even more interesting, but a kind of a cool direction.
Cool.
So yeah, Justin Trosper of Unwound. He's on that Mount Rushmore. And the rest of the band is great too, but yeah. Unwound is definitely a big influence on Torino Death Ride.
I also want to say, like, one of the things I love about doing this podcast is when people tell me about bands I've never heard of before, and you've told me about 3 at least tonight.
That's cool.
So thank you, and I'm very excited to check them out. So,
whoa,
I know tough, Matt feels the same way about that too, because I know Matt checks out bands too. It's hard to say a band that the Punk Rock Rain Man hasn't heard of, but when he
I kind of come from a little bit of a different direction with like noise rock and push hardcore and all that kind of weird stuff. And I mean, it's like a little bit of a left field kind of thing,
Yeah.
Right.
But whatever. I mean, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. But I mean, it's all one beautiful, like, kind of thing, man.
Totally.
It's totally. I mean, whatever, it doesn't matter.
Yep.
This is really tough, dude. Thinking about like these Mount Rushmore things. God damn, dude. This is tough.
You got 3 more.
God damn.
I told you there was a couple tough ones and a couple of fun ones.
Yeah.
I'll say Joe Lally from Fugazi is up there.
Okay.
Because he's just I mean, his bass lines are just so influential. I mean, I know it's a cop say Fugazi is great.
Oh, hell yeah.
They are a great band. I mean, they are a great band. I mean, obviously, I'm massively influenced by them, but his bass lines are just like so well thought out, and just like, I mean, if you listen to a lot of Fugazi songs, you really, you kind of, the bass line makes the song. Of course, I'm
just think of Waiting Room, and when you think of Waiting Room, it's like everybody knows that bass line right away. You know? Like,
I mean, again, it's a sum of the parts, but I mean, I think just the bass player, he's up there just because his bass lines are so well constructed and so influential. I mean, every time I get stuck with playing bass, or honestly, this is no joke, I get stuck playing bass, I'm writing a song, I'll stick on a few Fugazi songs. I'm like, how would he approach that? And I kind of go, oh
Mhm.
yeah. Man, it just happens a lot.
It-
So
I
That's,
kind of would have been disappointed if you very specifically left somebody from Fugazi out of this Mount Rushmore list. Yeah.
nice.
yeah, I mean, they're pretty
Yeah.
influential. I mean, I know that's a cliche, but I mean, they're massively influential. I mean, because I mean,
But
the thing about
there's
Fugazi
a
is really
reason for
interesting.
it.
Yeah.
There's a reason for it.
There's a reason for it. Yeah.
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 It is a cliche in a way because there's a lot of people that like, I'm not trying to like, this is one of the ones to say. There's a lot of sort of cursory Fugazi fans, and it's totally fine. Again, I'm not. I mean,
Mhm.
Fugazi's great.
Yeah.
You be your Fugazi fan, but it's like it's weird because like like they don't like really know the rest of the catalog. It's almost like there's a few like cool Fugazi songs. And again, I don't mean
Yeah.
to be a dick when I say that, but like like go listen to like the albums. Say I have nothing. Just take that whole album in and go,
Yeah.
damn, this is fucking really good. I mean, that's just me. I mean, just something. I don't
Yeah.
want to be an elitist ass or something. It's like. I would listen
Well, I
to
mean,
Fugazi.
there's a reason
Mhm.
why Waiting Room
No, that's a great
made
song.
like
It is.
made fucking
Yeah.
Rolling Stones list of the top 100
Absolutely.
songs of all time.
Yeah.
Like it was like
Yeah.
one of the very few
Plus, we're all three of us are DC kids, so that the
Yeah.
pride runs deep. I mean, that's
like if I made a
Ian
list
Mackay
of,
is like, fucking,
yeah,
yeah,
if I made a list of my top 100 songs of all time, like Waiting Room would probably be in the top 5, if not at the number 1 position. And it's not because I think Waiting Room is my favorite song of all time, but it's
Yeah.
just like that song defined like
it means a
a
lot.
genre, and
Absolutely.
like
No, I agree
and
with that.
it's so
100%.
influential, and like it did a lot of things for
Yeah.
music, especially in the punk genre and all the subgenres that came out of it, post
Absolutely.
punk, post hardcore, all that shit.
Yep.
Like
Absolutely.
like I would feel, even though it is cliche, I would
I guess
feel
so, yeah.
shitty if I didn't put it there,
Yeah.
Yeah. I
because
agree with
it's
that. I
true.
mean,
Yeah.
It's
yeah, I mean,
true.
I like probably I can't even say my favorite guys or something. Something like Smallpox Champion comes to mind. Whenever We Return comes to mind. I mean, there's always like songs. I mean, who gives a fuck? But
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But so what? But yeah, but they're a big influence.
Yeah.
Wow, I mean, this
Yeah.
Mount Rushmore thing is like really wow. Damn,
Yeah.
this is tough.
Still got 2 more.
I got 2
We
more.
got
Holy
3.
fuck,
Yeah,
man.
you got 3 so far.
Yeah.
Wow, this is tough, man. I just have to like just kind of like I don't want to just like wow, this is tough. I guess I'll also lean into my shoegazer kind of thing and maybe go Kevin Shields from My Bloody Valentine.
Okay.
Okay.
Because it's like again, it's like because I really was influenced by shoegaze music. I've really been doing into shoegaze music ever since that it set that kind of initial period, 1988 and so on. And
Mhm.
it's just like the sound of it. It was just so, and his approach to like kind of bending the guitar and making it some this washed out, like
Yeah.
this weird kind of abstract thing. I mean, I think it's really
Yeah.
cool. And like the sheer volume of it, and like it's just in a way like the whole band is like My Bloody Valentine is just interesting, because like they wrote it's essentially like a lot of times it's like these pop songs, but they just get all noisy and fucked up and like with all this reverb and like I don't know, it's interesting to me, like kind of like a little bit of almost bubblegum pop with like noise and all this
Yeah.
intense reverb on top of it. I think it's just really kind of cool. I mean, I
That
think
is cool.
shoegaze in
Yeah.
general is interesting.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
influential to me. Wow, this is still tough, man.
We only got one more.
One more to
Last
go. Holy
one.
fuck, man. This
Who's
is
the
so
last
hard.
person worthy of your
God
camera?
damn, this is hard. I'm gonna have to like put like I don't know if the tie is actually allowed, so it's tough, man. It's either gonna be John Coltrane or Miles Davis on that Mount
Okay.
Rushmore because it's so tough, man. Because they're both so damn amazing and brilliant, so in the different ways. But I guess I guess I'll put Miles Davis on top there because he's the one that I guess is maybe a little more influential. I mean, there's that golden period in the 60s and, where, he was just, I mean, Miles Davis was definitely not the best person in the world. He's done some, he was, he wasn't the best guy in the world, but in the 60s, especially.
Neither was
in that
Michael
classic-
Jackson. Yeah.
Yeah. And like
Yeah.
in that classic period, he put out so many
Yeah.
great albums and it's like this, it's just like the people that are around him and the people that he chose to play with him. I mean, it was,
Yeah.
it was just really cool. I mean, I basically see like in some of that jazz, I see the aggression
Yeah.
of like even punk in that and hardcore. It's like that they're just like really just going at it with their instruments. So there's like this searching and probing, and there's this purity to it. It's just like it kind of takes me like sometimes those albums take me to places like other places, like there's really unique places for me, like musically.
That's cool.
Like oh, like there's an album called Miles Smiles from 1966. It's like a really classic time that kind of like a little bit more fusion, kind of pushing acoustic jazz, like like as far as you can go with it. And of course, John Coltrane went a little bit further in terms of abstraction, and like even like aggression. I mean, like you hear like, and I'm cheating a little bit. You hear like John Coltrane play some of those solos, like and like that mid '60s period, in that avant-garde period, like before he died. And he's just like almost like blowing the fucking thing off. I mean, it's like he's like trying to play so many notes. He's just going crazy. Maybe I mean, it's controlled chaos. I mean, it's like for him, it's like spiritual. He's like just trying to find like some deeper truth or something with it. I mean, you should listen to like how he played those solos back then. I mean, it's kind of, in a way, it's a little bit like self-indulgent in a way, but then it's like, man, this guy's such a genius, and he's just like, I'm gonna throw all these notes at you, and it's like, it's just like, I don't know.
That's great. So it's funny because the first 4 people you picked have never been picked before. Those are 4 original picks for sure. I think I could be wrong, but I think Miles Davis might have been picked by Bill Stevenson.
Okay.
On his Mount Rushmore of punk rock.
That's cool.
I don't know for sure if it. I'm not. Matt, what do you think? Did he pick Miles Davis as one of his?
Yeah, I think you might be right.
He was very jazz heavy in his selections.
Did he?
So you and Bill Stevenson, the drummer of the Descendants. That's not bad company at all.
Not bad company at all. No.
So,
he's definitely a little more famous than I am. So
slightly.
I'll claim that.
Yeah.
I think John Coltrane has been picked by somebody as well. I just can't.
Okay.
That was a little bit of a cheat because
but your first 4 have definitely not been picked.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
So they're definitely originals. But if Miles Davis was picked before that, it was by Bill Stevenson.
That's cool.
Yeah. 100% it was. If it was,
right on.
Yeah.
If not, it's totally
I think it
original.
was.
So yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
So what do you guys have coming up, and where can people find you?
Well, basically, like I said, I mean, when this actually comes out, this may
It'll be out Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah. So well, actually, the next show is going to be the one that you can advertise for is going to be Friday, November 15th at Reclaim Arcade.
Cool.
With Walk the Plank and Supreme Commando. That's the one we're trying to push. But
there's
more stuff coming in 2025. Like you were going to play at Skid Row Garage again.
Nice.
We got some things coming up in Richmond. More in 2025. We kind of just skipped the holiday period. But yeah, there's a bunch of stuff coming up with that, and then like a new album, likely spring 2025. Of course, you can find our link tree. You can Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff that everybody knows about. And of course, please like us on Spotify. But of course, Spotify. I mean, Spotify is like a fucking mystery.
It is.
It's a big payola thing. Like whatever. It's a long discussion, but
Yep. But it's a good place to find people. So
yeah, exactly. But,
yeah.
Oh, well.
Totally. All right, Chris. Well, thanks so much for doing this, man.
Yeah, I know it's late, and I appreciate it, guys.
Yeah.
It was a lot of
take
fun.
care.
Guys.
Get some sleep, and
absolutely. Yeah, thanks so much. Get some rest.
Yeah, take care, man.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, take it easy.
All right,
dude.
later.
All right, man.
Later.
You
How do I do this shit? I can still hear you. So what do I have to press? Close.